Yeah, hello everyone. My name is Tasneem. I'm the senior manager at 98 percentile in the HR department. And today we did a wonderful drive with XLR. It was amazing right from the very beginning, from the very first day when I got in touch with them till today. I think it was an extremely smooth journey with them. There were multiple follow-ups done by the representatives in order to check that we would be, what time would be coming, how many people would be coming, what vehicle we would get. To that extent, they were so precise in giving all the information to us. It was extremely great to get associated with them and have a drive at XLR campus. So we are very, very happy that we got a chance to do this. Now, coming to the students, what XLR had, I think they were extremely enthusiastic. They were well prepared. They were aware of what they are coming for. I think there was some back-end preparation which they did that was commendable. They also were very confident and they were open to any kind of thing we were asking them to do. That was I think the best part. Now, I really hope we have a very, very fruitful association with each one of them and XLR in future. We are really looking forward to have many more drives like this.
Hi everyone, my name is Prachi Sharma and I'm the Senior Project Manager for IT Department at 90th percentile. So today we were here for this IT bootcamp, right, this technical drive and at XLR. So it was a great experience and I would feel that the students, they are the freshers, right, but it doesn't seem like that. So if I talk about their technical and cognitive ability, they all seems pretty good in that and that's what I felt. And I guess they have been taught pretty well at XLR, so that's how they have performed good in their aptitude and the technical tests. So I wish them all the best and it was a very great experience over here.
Hi, this is Patan, Technology Consulting Manager from 98th percentile. visited XLR for the campus placement drive and it went very well today. Miss Ambika, Miss Pragati, everyone received us greatly here and we had a lot of enjoyable time here. The students even had great experience with us. They were interactive, they had good aptitude and all the technological skills they showed. I think they were all well and we really appreciate their time that they spared to us and I think we will be doing a great job. We are expecting a lot of people to be hired from them. Let's see. It was a great experience altogether.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
From entering into the cyber tower to exiting out of this tower, the XLR team has been received me with such a care and pleasure.
I am the part of this XLR since 4 months. From the third month itself, they have conducted the placement sessions from the third month itself, and this is the fourth month, and this is the 98th percentile is one of the placement drive I have attended so far, and attending to this drive is such a good experience for me. All the HRs and the team made us feel very comfortable and confident.
XLR helped me a lot and I experienced a lot of things today. So I'm really hope to be I placed in that company. I'm confident about that. Thank you.
Am I audible to all of you guys? Yes or no? Great, great. Good evening, guys. Yes, yes. I got your response, guys. Good evening to all of you guys. So let's start today's session. Okay. Let me first of all share my screen. Okay, guys. So is my screen is up for you guys? Yes or no? Uh, guys, is my screen is up? Okay, great. So Tanisha, for attendance, you'll be getting a link. Through that link, you can mark your attendance, but probably you'll get link at 8:30 p.m. Right? Okay, guys. So let's start today's session. So today we are going to do some hands-on with Python, and especially Python for data science. Right? So as I told you in last session, that we are going to use Anaconda distribution, and inside the Anaconda distribution, we have something called as a Jupyter notebook. So this is the best platform to start with, hands-on with the Python programming with respect to the data science part. If you're comfortable, you can use Google Colapse also. That's a cloud-based service and it's a free of cost. You can take it like a subscription also, or you can opt for a free version. So it's up to you. If you're comfortable, guys, you can Google Collapse also, right? Book, which is available inside the, to install the Anaconda distribution. You will be getting an icon called as a Anaconda. So this is the home page for Anaconda Navigator. And within this home page, you'll be getting different platforms like Jupyter Lab, Jupyter Notebook, IBM Watson Studio Cloud, even RStudio, and some other tools like Spider and all. But for practice purpose, like Python for data science, we are going to use Jupyter Notebook. It's very much interactive in nature, right? So how to open Jupyter Notebook? So if you see, we have a button called Launch, right? Just click over this particular button. And the moment you click this button, automatically an HTML page will get open like this. So this is the home page for Jupyter Notebook. And in this home page, you can get access for different libraries or folders, like your desktop option, documents, downloads, some other options will be there. So you need to select a folder where you have kept all of your data sets or the Python files, right? Since it's a first class, so for the time being, just follow what I'm doing. And at the end of a class, I will share whatever data set I have used and the Python coding files, right? So for time being, just see, just focus over the screen. Okay. So under the desktop option, I have created a folder called XLR. Under this, I have this folder, and day2. Under this day2, I have a couple of files will be there, right? So all of these are the Python files, and I have a couple of data sets. So For the time being, just ignore all of these Python coding files, and let's see how you can open a new Python Jupyter notebook. So if you can see over the right corner on the top, we have an option called as a new, right? So just click over this particular option, new, and the first option you will be getting Python 3 IPY kernel. So click over this first option and you will be getting a brand new Jupyter notebook open for you guys, right? So up to this point, is my voice is clear? Okay. Okay. Anyways, so probably the connection will get stable in some time. Yeah. Anyways, so guys, this is the home page for Jupyter notebook. And in this page, you can see we are getting this box. So this box is something we are calling it as a cell. This is the cell where we write our Python codes, right? So this is the cell where we write Python code. Apart from that, on the top, you can see there are several options, right? So first of all, you need to select your cell. So the moment you click inside the cell is being selected and it will become a green color, right? Now let's suppose I want to add a couple of more cells. So by default, you will get only one single cell. If you want to add more cells, just click on this plus option. This plus option. So the moment you click on this plus option, you'll be getting more and more cells. So these are the place where we write our Python code, right? So let's suppose I'm writing very simple calculation kind of a thing. So let's suppose I want to add two numbers, 10 and let's suppose 20. So I will write 10 plus 20. So let's say this is my command and I want to see the output. So what you can do, you need to run this particular cell to see the output. Now, how to run a particular cell? So there are two ways to run a particular cell. The first way is select your cell, and how to select? Just click anywhere over this cell, right? So just click anywhere over this cell and this cell is being selected, which is in green color. Then click over this run button. The moment you click over this run button, you'll be getting the output of your cell just below this cell, right? So 10 plus 20 is 30. So you'll be getting the output just below your cell. This is the one way how you can run your code, right? The second way is how you run your code. So let's suppose again 10 plus 20. The second way is a shortcut, right? And the shortcut is Shift plus enter. Shift plus enter. So this is the shortcut through which you can run your cell. So first of all, you need to select your cell, and how to select? Just click anywhere over this cell and then press Shift enter, right? Shift enter. And the moment you press Shift enter, the output will appear just below this cell, right? So in this way, you can run any of the cell. Okay. Let's see one more example. Let's suppose I have created a variable called a, and the value I'm assigning to this variable a, like a equals to, let's say, 15. And I want to see this particular value 15 for this variable a. That means I want to print the value of a. So what I can do in below line, or let's say, yeah, let's suppose below that, I want to print the value of variable A. So how can I execute? The shortcut is Shift Enter. Shift Enter. So I can get the value of variable A, which is 50. Right? Even you can write it in more than 2 cells also. So let's say A equals to, let's suppose here I'm assigning some other value, let's say 10. And in the next cell, I want to see the value of variable A. So first of all, you need to initialize your variable. So run this particular cell. And since I haven't provided any print command, right? So that's why I'm not getting any output just below this cell. To get the value of variable A, I'm using another cell. And here, instead of writing the print command, I've just written the name of the variable. And the name of the variable is A, right? Let's run this cell. So it will also give you the output, which is in this case, it's a 10, right? So in that way, you can write the code and execute your cells. This is one thing. Now, apart from that, guys, this whole line of codes, they are called as a Python notebook. Python notebook. Right? Since it is written in Python language, so that's why they are calling as a Python notebook. If you want to download all of your, whatever codes you have written, you can download this particular notebook in multiple formats. So for that, just click over this file button, right? Just click over this file button and you'll be getting an option called as a download as. In this option, you are getting multiple options, like you can download this particular line of codes as a HTML file or as a LaTeX file, as a notebook. Notebook, it means Python notebook. You can also download it as a PDF via LaTeX, right? You can also download it as a Python file. So there are a lot of options are there. By default, if you are writing code in Jupyter notebook, the files will get downloaded as a Python notebook, and the extension for these files will be .ipynb, right? So this is the extension of this particular Python notebook file. So what is this .ipynb? It's a I stands for the interactive Python notebook, right? Interactive Python notebook. You can also provide a name for this Python notebook. So how you can write the name? So by default, you will get the name as untitled, right? So if you see this particular corner, so this is the name of your Python notebook. By default, you will be getting name as a untitled, but you can change the name according to your convenience. How? Just click over this untitled option, and here you will get this box, and within this box you can change the name. So let's say I want to provide a name for this Python notebook as a let's say example code, and then click over this rename option. So it will get renamed as a example code. And once you download this particular Python notebook, it will be downloaded with the name called as a example code with the extension of .ipynb, right? So these are some basics how you can handle this particular environment. Is that clear, guys? Okay, yeah. So I will little bit slow down. Is it always necessary to use Jupyter notebook? No, Tanisha, it's up to you. You can use Spider notebook, like Spider framework also. You can also use Google Colabs, or you can use Jupyter notebook. So it's up to you in which environment you are comfortable with. Okay. Yeah. And even nowadays, there are a lot of options are available, and those are the some cloud-based applications. So you can use like Apache Spark or Databricks. So there are a lot of cloud-based options are also available, where also you can write the same line of codes. Okay. So up to this point, guys, any doubt or any queries how to handle this environment? Let me also check with YouTube, guys. Okay, yeah. So, okay, guys. So if you guys are comfortable with a Jupyter environment, let's start with some basics regarding the Python. So, okay. So let me start from this point. So guys, this is the starting point of Python programming, right? So in Python programming, or even in any of the coding language, we have something called as a data structures. Right? So just like data structures in C or C++ or in some other languages, in Python also, we have something called as a data structures, right? And let me like tell you guys, we are not going to deep dive into this data structures part. I'm just covering some basics regarding the data structures of the Python, right? So that you can easily catch the upcoming concepts, right? So guys, when it comes to the data structures in Python, so there are a couple of data structures in Python available, like there is something called as a tuple, or let's say tuples, then sets. We have a data structure called as a list. We have something called as a dictionary. We have something called as a data frame. So these are the some data structures available in Python. You guys should have a basic understanding of what is tuple, what is set, what is the list, what is the data frame, what is the dictionary. And let me tell you, in data science, although all of these data structures are important, but most of the times, even more than 80% of times, you will be dealing with either data frames or lists. So these two are a little bit important compared to other data structures, right? So list and data frames. Others are also important, but these two are little bit more important, right? So let's have a idea about these data structures. What are these data structures? How you can create these data structures, and how can you do the different operations? Okay, let's see one by one. So let me start with the first data structure, which is tuples, right? So tuples are the data structures in Python that are used to store the multiple items separated by comma. So you can store multiple items. The item, it can be a numerical value or it can be a character or string values. So you can store multiple values either in a numerical form or in a character or string form that are separated by comma. This is first thing. Second important thing is it is a collection of elements. That means that is nothing but the values which is ordered and immutable. Now, what is this term called immutable? The term called immutable means if you have created a tuple with a particular value, after creating a tuple with a particular value, you cannot change that value. That is something called as a immutable. That means the variable which cannot change its value, right? Let's see how you can create the tuple. So to create the tuple, we use these angle braces. This angle braces will be used to create the tuples, right? Yes, Annapurna, for the timing, you can use online Python execution. Okay. Yeah. So, okay. So let's see how you can use the tuples. So let's suppose, guys, I want to use a tuple, let's say T1. And in this tuple, I want to store some values. And let's say the values are, let's say 10, 50, and let's suppose 25. These are the three values which I want to store in this particular tuple T1. So how you can create this tuple T1? So T1 is a variable which is a tuple type. If I will create this T1 equals to, inside the angle braces, I will enter all of these values separated by comma. That means T1 is equals to, inside the angle braces, 10, 50, 25. So if I execute this particular line of code, it will create a variable called T1, which is a type of tuple, right? And if it is a tuple, it will follow this property that the elements will be in ordered manner and immutable. That means you cannot change the order of element. And the second thing, even you cannot change the values of these elements, right? Let's see through hands-on. So if you see, guys, in the first cell, I have created a tuple called T1. And in this tuple, I have randomly passed a couple of values like 1, 7, 13, 35, and 5. And all of these values are separated by comma. And now I'm going to execute this cell. And how to execute? Shift Enter, right? And if you see, after executing, I'm not getting any output after this cell. Why I'm not getting any output? The reason being, I am not printing any of the, variable values. In the next cell, I am printing the value of T1. So you can use print command to get the value of a particular variable, or you can directly write the name of your variable. So in the both way, you will get the output. So in the next cell, I'm printing the value of variable called T1. Let me execute it. So in the output, you can see it is showing me what are the values stored in this variable T1: 1, 7, 13, 34, and 5. And you can see there is a angle braces present. So the presence of this angle braces will indicate that it is a tuple type data structure, right? Even you can check what kind of a data structure your variable has. So for that, we have a function called type. Within this function, you can enter your variable name, and it will give you the output as what kind of a data structure your variable has, right? So this is what I have done in the line number 3, type of T1. And you can see in the output, I am getting it is a tuple type of variable, right? So let me again execute this part. Yeah. Another example, you can see in the same cell, I am creating a tuple with the values at 7, 7, 7, 7, right? And the variable I'm choosing as a T3, and then I'm just using the type function to get the type of this variable T3, and in the output, I'm getting as a tuple, right? So this is the way how you can create a tuple in Python, right? Apart from that, guys, you can also create a tuple which contains the mixed data type values. That means in the same tuple, you can pass numerical values. Even you can also pass some character or string kind of a values. And the moment you are passing the string kind of a values, all of the string or character kind of a value should be inside the quotes. It can be a single quote or it can be a double quotes, right? So this is what I have done here. I have created a variable called T2. In this variable, I have passed values 1 and then hello and then 3.4. And then I'm checking the values of this variable T2. So this is what I'm getting. And you can see in the output also, I'm getting the quotes for this character or string kind of a value called hello. And if you check the type of your T2, it's a tuple. So that means tuple can store mixed data type values. It's another important point, right? So in a tuple, you can store mixed data type values. So this is one thing. Let's see another important aspect. So there is something called as a concatenation of two tuples, right? That is nothing but the joining of the two tuples. So let's suppose, guys, I have a tuple T1 where I have a value, let's say 10 and 15. And let's suppose I have a second tuple T2 where I have a value as, let's suppose 5 and 50. Now if I do T1 plus T2, what do you think, guys? What will the output? Can anyone guess what will the output if I do T1 plus T2? And if these are the values of tuple T1 and tuple T2? $15 and $65. Right, guys. Most of the guys are correct. So, guys, in case of a tuple, this plus operator is called as a concatenation operator. Concatenation operator, right? It will not add these values, rather than it will concatenate the tuple T1 and T2. The meaning of concatenation is just combine all of these values. So the output will be 10, 15, 5, and then 50. It will not add these values, right? So this is the meaning of concatenation. And in case of a tuple, this plus operator will do the concatenation, right? So let's see another example. So guys, here I have created three tuples, tuple 1, tuple 2, and tuple 3. So these are the name of my variables. And these are some random values I have passed in these tuples. Now, if I do tuple 1 plus tuple 2 plus tuple 3, you can see here the output is, it is a concatenation of all of these three tuples, right? So up to this point, it's a tuple 1. Then 444 and 888, these are the values for tuple 2. And then DA and DS, these are the values for tuple 3. And all of these values are combined in a single tuple, right? So this is another important operation in tuples. Okay. There is one more important operation in tuples. That's a operation of repetition of elements. So let's say, guys, I have a tuple T1 with values as, let's say, 5 and 10. Now, if I multiply this tuple T1 with 2. So it will not multiply these elements with value 2, rather than in case of a tuple, it is a repetition operator. It's a repetition operator, right? So what this operator will do, it will repeat these elements twice. So the output will be 5, 10, and 5, 10, right? If you multiply T1 with 3, so it will repeat these elements 3 times, like 5, 10, again 5 and 10, again 5 and 10, right? So in case of a tuple, this multiplication is a repetition operator. It will not multiply elements by this number, right? Rather than it will repeat the elements by this many times. So this is what I have tested here. So we have a tuple 2, which we have created here. This is the tuple 2. And we are just multiplying this tuple 2 with the number 3. So what it will do? It will repeat the values of tuple 2 by 3 times. Right? Even you can also get how many elements are there in a particular tuple. So for that, we have a function called len. And within this function, you can pass your name of the tuple, and it will get print how many number of elements will be there. So this len stands for length operator. So it will get you the length of this particular variable. Let's say the variable is tuple 1. And these are the values for tuple 1. So how many values are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. That's why we are getting the answer as a 8. Right? So this is how you can do different operations over the tuple. And then one more important concept, how you can access these elements. You have defined the tuple with these values, but let's suppose I want to access this particular value or this particular value. How I can do that? So for that, guys, to access any of the value from tuple, we always use square braces, right? We always use square braces. And within that square braces, we write the index position of the element. What we write here? We write here index position. Index position. Now, what is this index position? So let's suppose, guys, I have a tuple T1 with, let's say, 5 values, and the values are, let's say, 2, 8, 3, 10, and let's suppose 15. Let's say I have these 5 values in this tuple T1. Since we are using the Python, so what Python will do at the backend, it will by default provide index numbers or position numbers to these values. And by default in Python, the index number starts from 0. So like 0, 1, 2, 3, and so on. So this is something which Python will do at the backend, right? So how Python is storing these values based upon index position? So what Python will do? Python will allocate index position 0 to the first number, index position 1 to the second number, third number will be at index position 2, fourth number will be at index position 3, fifth number will be at index position 4, and so on, right? So this is something by default is there in Python. So Python will always allocate the index position to the values and the index position starts from 0 always in Python, right? And we use these index positions to access these elements. Let's see how we can use these position numbers. So let's suppose, guys, I want to access, this is my tuple 1. I want to access this particular value, 456. So can you guys tell me what is the index position of this particular value? What will be the index position of this particular value exactly? It will be 1. Right. So the index position is 1. And as I told you, to provide the index position, that means you are accessing the element, you always use the square brackets. So we write the name of our variable, which is a tuple 1, square bracket, and inside the square bracket, we write the index position. So here I have written index position 1. So that's why I'm getting the value which is present at index position 1, and the value is 456. At index position 0, I have a 244. Index position 1, 456. Index position 2, the value is 768. At index position 3, the value is 23, and so on. Right? So in that way, you can access the element from a tuple. Right? The same concept will be used in case of a data frame. Okay, we will come back to that particular point. Okay, so this is one thing. So as I told you, the index always starts from value 0 and it goes up to the last number. If you want to start the index from the last, that means from right to left. So in Python, there is also index available from last to starting point. And if you are, accessing the elements based upon the index position from right to left, so it starts from -1. So index position for the last element will be -1. Index position for the second last element will be -2. Third last element will be -3, and so on. So if you are providing an index position like -1 or -2, that means you are accessing the elements from right to left, right? So both the indexing possible in Python. I hope this point is clear. So if you see, if I'm accessing tuple of -2, that means I'm accessing the second last element. Index position of last element will be -1. Index position of second last element will be -2. That's why I'm getting the 7. And also you have an index position from left to right. So if you're going from left to right, indexing starts from 0, 1, 2, and so on. If you go from right to left, indexing starts from -1, -2, -3, and so on. All right? Is that clear, guys? Up to this point, any doubt or any query? Anyone? Great. Okay, great, cool. Apart from that, guys, let me show you one more important part. As I told you guys, tuples are the immutable. That means once you have created a tuple, you cannot change its value, right? So let's suppose I have created a tuple T1, and in this tuple, we have a values like 244, 456, 768, and so on. And what is the value present at index position 1? 456, right? Let's suppose I want to change this value. I want to change the value at index position 1. And I want to provide a value 100 instead of 456. So if you are performing this kind of an operation, you will get an error because tuples are immutable. Once you have created a tuple, you cannot change its value. So if you see here in line number 20, what I'm doing, I'm assigning a value 100 at an index position 1. And the moment I run this line of code, I'm getting an error. What is the error? Error is immutable. Tuple object does not support item assignment. Right? Since tuples are immutable, that's why I'm getting this error. I cannot change the values of tuple once I have created a particular tuple. Right? Yes, you can add the values, but you cannot change the existing values. Okay, right? So I guess this part is clear. Let me come back to one more concept. Okay. So guys, in Python, you'll be saying a couple of times this kind of a syntax. Inside the square braces, you have something like 3 and this colon operator. So this operator is called as a colon operator, right? What is the meaning of this colon operator? As I told you, inside this square braces, we always write the index position. Okay. We always write the index position. Now let's suppose, guys, I have a tuple T1 like this, the same tuple, and I want to access all the elements starting from index position 3. I want to access all the elements starting from index position 3. That means if you see at index position 0, I have a 254, index position 1, 2, and this is the element which is present at index position 3. And I want to access all the elements from index position 3, like 23, 568, 22, 7, and the last element. So if you want to access sequence of elements, so for that we use this colon operator. And if I write 3 colon nothing, that means it will start from index position 3 and it will go up to the last element, right? So this colon operator, before this colon operator, you need to provide the starting index, and last index, right? Starting and last, instead of last, you can write here int index. And if you're not providing the int index, that means it will go up to the last element. So that's why the output of line number 15, if you see, it will print you all the values starting from index position 3 up to the last element, right? Right? So this is one thing. And one more interesting part is there. Let's say I write here starting from 3 up to, let's suppose, so it's an index position 3. It is at index position 4, index position 5, index position 6, index position 7, right? Let's say I write here starting from 3, let's suppose up to 7. 7 is the last index position, right? If I run this one, if you see here, guys, in the output, I am not getting the last element. Last element is missing if I provide the last index position, right? Why I'm not getting? So this is the like this is the concept of indexing in Python. Let's suppose you have provided an index position like starting from index let's say n0 up to nx index. So this is some I'm just randomly taking some generalized form. So if you provide the index position starting from n0 to nx, what Python will do, it will print all the values starting from index position n0, n1, n2, and so on, and it will go up to index position nx minus 1, right? It will never print the value of the last index if you provide like this inside the square braces using the sequence operator. So it will print you all the values up to index position minus 1. So you will get all the values starting from the start index position, start index, up to index position minus 1. So that's why if you see here, I have provided an index position 3 to 7. So I will get all the elements starting from index position 3 up to index position 7 minus 1. And what is the 7 minus 1? 6. And what is the value present at index position 6? That is the value as 7. That's why I'm getting 7, up to 7. I'm not getting the last element. So to get the value of the last element, what I can do? I can provide an index position more than the last index position, right? So I will provide 8 here. So it will print all the values up to 8 minus 1. That means 7th index position, which is the index position of my last element. Is that clear, guys? How this sequence operator works? Let me also check with YouTube, guys. Okay. Okay, yeah, clear. Okay, guys. So I hope this exercise is clear to all of you guys, right? Okay, great. Let me reshare my screen. Okay. Okay, guys. So let's see a couple of more concepts. And then apart from tuple, we have something called as a list. So what is a list? List can also store multiple items. It is ordered. That means items have a defined order and order will not change, right? If you add a new item to the list, the new item will be placed at the end of the list. And if you see, guys, list is mutable. If I recall you, tuples are immutable, but list is mutable. That means you can change the value inside a list, right? Let's see what is this list. So guys, to create a list, we always use the square brackets. Okay. To create a tuple, we use angle brackets. To create a list, we use the square brackets. And within this square brackets, you need to pass the values. So this is what I have created. I have created a list called L1. And what this list contains, it contains the name of fruits like apple, banana, grapes, apple, mango. Right? This is what I have provided. You can also check the length of your list. That means the number of elements inside a list. So in this list, if you see 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, total 5 elements is there. You can also create a list with a mixed data type elements, right? So like this. This is something also you can do it. Now, can you guys tell me? I have provided a quotes for this value A, value D, but not for this particular value as a true. Why so, guys? Any answer to that? Why there is a no quotes for this particular value true? Anyone? Exactly. So it's a Boolean value. So true and false, these are the Boolean values, right? So let's suppose, guys, this is my list L2 with these many elements. I want to add one more element to this list. Let's say I want to add 100. So there is a one operator is there, and the name of the operator is append, right? And in Python, if you want to use any function or operator, any function or operator in Python can be used with the help of the dot operator. That means name of your variable, let's say L2 is my variable name, dot operator name. What is the operator here? Append. What I want to append? A value 100. And this value will always appear at the last. All right. And how to access the elements? So let me show you like this. Okay, so this is how we have appended a new value as a 100, and the new value will always appear at the last. You can also, change the values of a list. How? So if you guys see at index position 1, I have a value 34, right? At index position 0, the value is A. Index position 1, value is 34. Index position 2, the value is this true, which is a Boolean. Index position 3, 4, and 5. Let's suppose at index position 1, I want to change this value from 34 to 10. So what I'm doing here, I'm assigning value 10 at index position 1. Since list is mutable, so you can see in the output, I'm getting value 10 instead of 34. Right? So that's why lists are mutable. Tuples are immutable. In tuple, you cannot change the values once it is being created. Okay. So this is some basic introduction regarding the lists. The next structure is sets. Now sets are unordered and they are mutable. So they are mutable. You can change the values inside a set. They are unordered. And there is one more important property of sets are that it has no duplicate elements, right? So set will always contain the unique elements. It doesn't contain any duplicate element. Let's see. So I'm creating a set. Now, how to create a set? First of all, to create a set, you need to use a method called set. Within this method, you need to pass your values. So this is what I have done here. Set is a keyword or function name to create sets. And in the set, I am passing 3 values, A, B, and C. Now, how to identify whether this variable is of set type, set data structure? So set data structure will always contain the values in curly brackets. So if you see the output of this variable S1, you'll be getting the values in curly brackets. And what are the values? A, B, and C. And how I'm creating this set? With the keyword called as a set. Right? You can also add a new value to this set. And for that, we have a method called add. And how to use any method? Using the dot operator. So name of your variable S1 dot add and the value which is here D. And this value will always appear at the last. You can see here, initially I have a A, B, and C. Now I have a new value called as a D. Right? You can also pass mixed data type values inside a set. Right? Now let's see the last example of this set. The line number 31. Here I'm creating a set with the values of 10, 20, 30, 40, again 30 and 20. As I told you, set will always contain unique elements. There won't be any duplicate elements, right? But in this list of values, so in this set values, so there is a repetition of 30 and 20. So once you have created this set, and if you print the values, you won't get any duplicate values. So what is the value? What are the values stored in this variable S3, which is a set type data structure? 10, 20, 30, and 40, not this 30 and 20. So it will always contain the unique values. Right? Is that clear, guys? Yes, in tuple you can do that. Okay. The last data type is it is of dictionary. So dictionary and set both are both store the values in curly brackets, right? But the difference is in dictionary, it will store the values as a form of key value pair, right? Key value pair. That means you have a key, and with respect to this key, you have some value. So let's say value 1, key 1, comma, key 2. And for this key 2, we have another value, let's say value 2, and so on, inside the curly brackets. The important property is the values may get repeated, but the keys will always be unique. Keys cannot be repetitive. Values may get repeated, right? So let's see how you can create a dictionary with the help of the curly brackets. And it's like key and item 1, key 2, item 2, just like that. For example, let's suppose I want to create a dictionary where I have 2 keys as a name and age. And inside the name, I have 3 names. That means the 3 values A, B, and C. So this is a 1 key value pair, comma. The second key value pair is the age. Age, colon. What are the ages? 26, 25, and 27 with respect to A, B, and C. So this is how we have created the dictionary, right? You can access, this key and values. How? So we have a operator called get. So this get, what it will do? It will give you the values. So just type it here. What values you want? So I want the values for the key called name. So d2.get, and inside that get, you need to pass the key name. What is my key name? Is a name. So for this name key, I will get all the values. What are the values? A, B, and C. You can also get what are the different keys are there in your dictionary. So for that, we have a function called keys. And how to use this function? Name of your dictionary, dot operator, function name is keys. So it will get you what are all keys are there in your dictionary, right? If you're using a function called values, you will get all of the values present in your dictionary, right? Even you can also add one more key value pair in your existing dictionary. How? So just like the above example, D2 of department, let's suppose I am adding a department as a key, and values are D1, D2, and D3. And this new key value pair will always appear at the end. All right. So this is the introduction of data structures in Python. One more data structure is left, that is the data frame. So that is something I'm going to discuss in some time in a separate notebook, right? But yeah, these are some basics regarding the Python data structures. So up to this point, guys, any queries or questions? Let me also check with YouTube guys. Okay. Okay. What does the dot indicate department? I just taken as a like it doesn't make any sense. Like it's a simple the short form of department. So you can remove that dot also, right? So it's not a dot operator. Like after the department DEPT dot, right? So it's just a short form, nothing else. Yes. Okay, guys. Rohit, yes. So you need to remember these properties. So like one or two properties you guys need to remember for all the data structures, right? And the moment you guys get to start working with these data structures, you will automatically get things like which one is a mutable, which one is a immutable, right? How to add the values or how to access the elements. Okay. So let me also check with. Okay, guys. So let's see a couple of more hands-on practice with Python with respect to the data frame, which is very, very important. I hope my screen is visible to you guys. Okay. Yeah. So guys, we have understood the basics regarding the Python data structure, except the data frames. But most of the times when you are dealing with data set with respect to the data science, you will be dealing with the data frames only. That means whatever data set we are dealing, those data sets are they work as a data frame only, and you need to apply the concept of data frame over those data sets, right? So when it comes to dealing with the data set in Python with respect to the data science perspective, so first and foremost important thing is how you can import your data set from local into this Jupyter environment, or how you can, that means it's an import the data set from your local to this Jupyter environment, or how you can export your data set from this Jupyter environment into your local. Because you can only work over the data set like when you are importing your data set into this Jupyter environment. then only you can work over the data sets, right? So this importing the data set and exporting the data set is very important. Now, to perform this kind of a functionalities, even like data analysis also, in Python, we have a different libraries. So we have a something called as a pandas and numpy. So these two are the libraries which are more frequently used for data manipulation and numerical calculations. So pandas stands for panel data analysis. It's a panel data analysis. So it is one of the library through which you can do the data manipulation or data analysis in Python. NumPy stands for numerical Python. Numerical Python. Using the NumPy, we do different kind of mathematical operations, right? So we are going to use these two libraries, especially pandas, how to deal with your data set, how to handle the data set using these libraries, right? Now, since these are the libraries, that means inside these libraries, we have a different functions for different tasks, right? So for each and every task, we have some functions available within these libraries. And using these libraries, we are going to utilize those functionalities. For example, if you want to import a CSV or Excel file in this Jupyter environment, for that, under the pandas, we have a direct function available as read underscore CSV or read underscore Excel. So these are the direct functions available inside the pandas. You can directly utilize these functions to read your CSV or Excel files, right? But how you can utilize these functions? With the help of this library pandas, right? So just like this is one of the functionality to read any CSV or Excel file. So for Excel, we have another syntax, read underscore Excel. So these are the syntax to read Excel or CSV file. For different other functionalities, we have some other functions inside this library, right? So same like with NumPy, to perform different mathematical operations like summation or subtraction, getting the minimum value, max value, we have a different functions available under the NumPy. So with the help of these libraries, we utilize these functions as per the need. So let's see how we can do all of these things. Okay, so to utilize these functionalities, guys, first of all, you guys need to import the libraries. So importing the libraries means making these libraries available for this particular session. Okay. So how to import? For that, you need to write it like import pandas. And I'm providing a short name for this pandas as PD. So that each and every time when I need to write the library name, instead of writing the pandas, I will only write PD. Right? So I've just provided a short name. So I'm importing pandas as a PD, numpy as a NP. Okay. So this is the first and foremost step. You need to import your required libraries. Now, I have a data set, guys. The name of the data set is salaries.csv. It's a CSV file which is present at my local system. All right. And I'm going to import this file into this Python Jupyter environment. Since it is a CSV file, so I am going to utilize a function called as a read underscore CSV, which is available inside the pandas. And as I told you, to utilize any function or method in Python, it will always be done with the help of dot operator. So under the pandas, which is the PD, dot name of the function is read underscore CSV. Why CSV? Because my data set is in form of CSV file. And this data set is present in my local system at this location. So this is the location of my file or data set. So you need to write it here, complete location of your data set, where your data set resides in your local system, inside the quotes. So within this function, inside the quotes, you need to provide the path of your file, close the quotes and brackets. So this is the way how you can read any data set inside this Jupyter environment, right? You can also import an Excel file. So for that, I have written syntax in next line. pd.read_excel is a function name. And this function read_excel is present inside the library called pandas. So that's why pd.read_excel. And then inside the quotes, you need to provide your complete path for this particular file, whatever is the name of your file. So here, the name of file is salaries, right? And then you can also select the sheet name. So I'm sure you guys know Excel file. In Excel file, you have a different sheets. So by default, it will read the first sheet, but you can specify which sheet you want to import. That option is also there, right? So this code is also available here. If you want, you can go through it. Okay, so for the timing, I'm importing a CSV file of salaries dataset, right? This salaries.csv is the name of my file with the extension of CSV. And this file I'm saving with a variable called df. Df is the name of variable which will store the data for this particular CSV file, right? So, and here I am just printing what is the data present in this particular variable called df. So if you see here, in this file, I have data set like this. So this data set is arranged in a row and column manner, right? Row and column format. So this is the format which is called as a data frame, where data is arranged in a tabular manner in row and column form, right? And this is your data. And this structure is called as a data frame. Okay. Now, the important thing is, guys, as I told you, when Python stores any data set or any values or any element, it will assign index position to that particular element. Now here we have this data set. In this data set, we have 6 columns like rank, discipline, PhD, service, sect, and salary. So for each and every candidate, what is the rank of that candidate, whether the candidate is a professor or assistant professor or associate professor, like that. In a particular discipline, either A or B, number of PhDs, number of service years, gender, male or female, and salary. So this is the information for each and every candidate we have. In total, we have 78 records with 6 columns, right? Now, what Python will do, for each and every record, it will assign the index position. So this is the first record. This complete row is the first record. And you can see here, for first record, the index position is 0. At index position 1, I have the second record. index position 2, I have the third record, and so on. So in total, I have a 78 records. That's why index position is up to 77 because it starts from 0. Right? So whatever these numbers you are seeing here, these are nothing but the index position of each and every record. Just like a row wise, Python also has the index position for each and every column. But that index position is not visible, but it is there. So at index position 0, we have a column called rank. That means this particular column. At index position 1, we have a column called discipline. Index position 2, we have a column called PhD, and so on. Index position 3, 4, and 5. So indexing will always be there both for rows and columns. Right? This form of data representation is called as a data frame. Is that clear, guys? How to import a data set and what are these numbers? How you can get the number of rows and number of columns? Rohit, sheet name is the thing, but when you open any Excel file, so each and every Excel file has, in the bottom, if you can see, you have a sheet name. You may have a single sheet or multiple sheets. Right? Okay, guys. Yeah. So this is the data frame, what we have now. Venki, all of these recordings will be available over the portal. Okay, so don't worry about that. Okay, let me also show you the data set in my local system. It will be much easier for you guys to understand. Just a minute. Okay. Okay, guys, see here. Okay, yeah. I'm sure my screen is visible to you guys. So see here, guys. At this particular location, I have a couple of data sets. And one of the data set, I have a salaries data set. Right? And you can see this data set is of CSV file. So CSV is a form of data set which stands for a comma separated value file, right? Most of the times you will be getting the data set either in CSV file or in Excel worksheet, right? So I have this data set at this particular location. So in the pd.read_CSV method or function, I have passed this location only. And under this folder, I have this data set, which is of CSV data set. And if I show you my data set, so this is how my data set looks like. Right? So this is a CSV file in my local system, which contains these many records with these columns. So what are the columns? Rank, discipline, PhD, service, sex, and salary. And in total, I have 78 records. And whatever this particular thing you are seeing here, this is the name of the sheet, right? This is the sheet with the name of salary. You can also add more sheets just by clicking this plus option. right? So this is the sheet. I'm sure now it's clear to you guys, right? What is a CSV file and how it looks like. I'm coming to that part, Harini. Just a moment. Okay. All right. So guys, if you see here, when I'm printing the output of my data frame DF, so I'm not getting all the 78 records. I'm getting couple of records from the top and couple of records from the bottom. And in between, it's a dot dot kind of thing. That means the like in between records are not printed here, right? The reason being, due to the space allocation or memory allocation, it won't print the complete data set. It will only show you first couple of records and last couple of records. If you want to print all of the records, you need to provide some different commands. So like under the pandas, we have an option so that you can specify that print all of the records. Doesn't matter it's a 78 records or 700 records. If you write that line of a code, it will print all of the records, right? But by default, it will get you first couple of records and then last couple of records. Okay. Okay, let's see a few more functionalities of this data frame. So guys, we have two functions as a head and tail. What are these functions? So just by using this head and tail function, you can get first couple of records or last couple of records. So the head function will print the first couple of records from your data set. You need to specify how many records you want to see. So if you specify head of 3, so it will print first 3 records. If you specify head of 5, it will print first 5 records, right? If you use the tail function, so it will print last couple of records, right? So if you specify tail of 5, so it will print last 5 records. If you print tail of 2, then it will get you last 2 records, like that. This is one thing. Another thing is, guys, so this is my data frame, DF. In this data frame, I have a couple of columns. So these columns are also called as features. Columns or features, right? Now let's suppose I don't want all of these 6 features. I need only 1 or 2 features. So how you can access a particular feature from your data frame? So for that, guys, we have 2 options. The first method is using the dot operator. Let's suppose I want to access this PhD column, only this PhD column. I don't want all other features. So the first method is using the dot operator. It's like name of your data frame dot name of your feature, which is PhD. And it will print all of the values present in this particular feature. The second method is using the square brackets. So it's like name of your data frame, square bracket. Inside that, under the quotes, you need to provide your name of your feature, which is a PhD, right? So these are the 2 methods how you can access any of the feature. But let's suppose, guys, you want to access more than 1 feature at a time. More than 1 feature. So with the help of dot operator, you can access only single feature at a time. If you want to access more than 1 feature, you need to use the square brackets. But the twist is, let's suppose I want to access PhD and salary, these 2 features. The moment you want to access more than 1 feature, you need to write it like df of square brackets, and under this square bracket again you need to type another square bracket, and within that you need to type here name of your features like PhD and salary. So it's like list inside a list, right? I'm sure you guys remember what is a list. So how you can create a list with the help of square brackets, right? So if you see here, this particular syntax, inside we have a one list, and then we have another list, outer list. So it's like list inside a list. So this particular syntax we use when you want to access more than one features at a time. Okay. Is that clear, guys? How you can access a particular feature from your data set? Any doubt or any queries with this part? Anyone? Guys, attendance link is there in your chat box. You can fill the form and mark your attendance, right? How to get the complete data? So Rohit, as I told you, we have a particular command where you need to specify that you want to print all the rows or all the columns for your data set. Okay. Anyways, so if you can see here, guys, so what we are doing here, we are selecting only discipline and PhD features for my data set. And since we are selecting more than one features, that's why we have used double square brackets, right? What would be the output for that problem? What is the problem? Even you can also select a particular feature using a single square brackets, right? You can also use the dot operator, guys. And you are aware about this tail function. So what this tail function will do? By default, it will get you last five records from the bottom. So you can see the indexing. These are the last 5 records for this data frame df, right? Now we have another method called shape. What this shape will do, first of all, how you can use this method? Using the dot operator. So name of your data frame dot shape. The output of this operator is, it will give you two things. First one is number of rows and then number of columns of your data set. So if you see line number 12, the output of this shape function is number of rows, which is 78 in this data frame. And how many columns we have? 6 columns, right? Now see one more interesting part, guys. If you see here, this is the output of shape method. There are 78 rows and 6 columns. And as you guys know, Python will store any value within its index position. So there are two values Python is giving me, 78 and 6. So how these values are being stored in Python based upon index position? At index position 0, I have a value 78. At index position 1, I have a value 6. Now let's suppose I want only the number of rows, but not the number of columns. So what I can do? df.shape, df.shape. Up to this point, it will give me two things: number of rows and number of columns. But if I want only number of rows, I can specify the index position for this particular value. And what is the index position? It's the index position 0. So if I specify df dot shape inside the square brackets 0, so it will give me only number of rows. If I specify shape of 1, so it will give me only number of columns because it is at index position 1. So this is what we have done here. Shape of 0, it is number of rows. Shape of 1, it is number of columns. Right? Yes. So we don't use any, angle brushes here. So it is a complete method name, shape. Even you can also print all of your columns as a list. So we have a method called columns. Inside that, you can get list of all of your column names, right? So it's like name of your data frame df dot columns is a method name which will give you list of all of the column names. Okay. Diksha attendance link is there in the chat box. If you're not getting, don't worry, Amar will share it again. Okay. So this is one part, guys. Don't worry, Diksha. You'll get attendance link. So up to this point, guys, any doubt, any queries, anyone? Let me check with the YouTube guys also. Yes, Sumona, you can also write your queries over the YouTube channel, right? Okay. Is there okay, this is a question from Navya. Is there any method to access df.shape0 other than 78,6? Navya, I'm not getting your question. So as I understood your question, is there any other options apart from df.shape0? Is it what you are asking? Right? So yes, we have a other alternative methods from where you can get the number of rows or number of columns. So this is one of the method. Okay. Yes, Kayur, you can use the tuple with repeated elements. Right? The answer is yes. It's up to you, Kayur. You can repeat a selected number of elements or all the elements. It's up to you. Okay, guys. So let's see a couple of more things with respect to the data frame. Okay, so you guys understood how you can get the number of rows, number of columns, and list of columns for your data set. Let's say a couple of mathematical operations, or better to say statistical operations. So we have a feature called as salary, right? Which is a numerical feature, right? It's a numerical feature. So let's see. Let's suppose, guys, I want to know what is the minimum value present in this particular variable called salary. So there are a couple of ways you can get the result, but the best way is we have a function called as a min. This function will give you the minimum value for your column. But how to apply this function over the salary column? So first of all, you need to select your column. So how to select? Name of your data frame dot the feature name, and the feature name is a salary. For this feature, I want to know what is the minimum value. Or you can also apply max. It will give you whatever is the max value present in this particular variable. Right? So this is what we are getting here. df.salary of min. That means the minimum value present over this particular feature called salary. And the minimum value is this one. Right? Out of all the 78 records, the minimum value is this one in the salary column. You can also get the max value. First of all, select your feature and then apply the max function. You can also apply these functions over complete data set, right? df.max. Since these are the statistical functions, so it's better to check for a numerical variables, not for a character or string kind of a values, right? You can also get the min values. Okay. And apart from that, guys, there is a one more important function, and the name of the function is info. Info. What this function will do, it will provide the basic information regarding your data set. What are the basic information? So for each and every column, it will tell you how many non-null records are there, what is the data type for each and every column. Apart from that, total how many records are there, what are the index position for these records, right? So you can see here, there are total 6 columns, 78 records with the index position 0 to 77. These are my 6 columns. And in each and every column, there are 78 non-null records, right? Non-null means out of total 78, all the records are there for each and every column. And then what is the data type for these columns? So if you see the data type for salary, it's an integer type. That's why we have a numerical values for this particular variable called salary. Same for PhD and service. But you can see the data type is object in case of rank, discipline, and sex. So the object is a data type that is used for a character or string kind of a values. So if you see your data set, in this data set, for variable called as a rank, discipline, and sex, these variables contains the string values, right? These are not the numerical values. So the variables which contain the string kind of a values or character kind of a values, the data type for these variables will be object, right? So object data type means the variable contains the string or character kind of values. non-numerical values, right? So this is one part, guys, with respect to the handling the data set. Let me just take a couple of questions. Navya will be discussing this part, how you can access, eighth row or some random rows and particular column. So this is something I'll be discussing in upcoming sessions. Like whenever I will require, I will share those things. Okay, don't worry about it. Okay. Right. Okay. Any other doubt, guys? Anyone in today's session? Don't worry, guys. Attendance link is already shared. Please check the chat box. Gayatri, yesterday's notes will be there over the portal. So operations team, I guess they have uploaded the yesterday's material. So yesterday we have discussed one PPT. So I guess that PPT will be there. Sumona, it will be better to install the Anaconda distribution if you are very new to this line, right? If you are familiar with Google Colabs, you can also use that one. Vaishnavi, I'll be discussing those parts. Don't worry. Just Shumona, Anaconda distribution, how to install and how to get this Jupyter notebook. So for that, you can follow any of the YouTube link, right? So over the YouTube, you can like search it, how to install the Anaconda distribution. It will hardly take 5 to 10 minutes. Okay. Yes, Gagan, you can also delete a particular column from your data set, or you can add a new column to your data set. So probably those kind of things I'll be discussing in tomorrow's or day after tomorrow's class. Okay. Simona, another one is Google Colab. It's a cloud-based service. It's okay. It's a Google Colab, COLAB, Colab. Lab is for the laboratory. Yes. Okay. So if you don't have any technical questions, so over to Amar. Amar, please share the attendance link once more.
Yeah, sure. So guys, I'm sharing the attendance link over Zoom and YouTube as well. So please mark your attendance and don't forget to share your valuable feedback as well. सर हमारा रजिस्ट्रेशन हो गया, उसका मेल नहीं आया अभी तक. So in such scenario, drop an email to edl@xlar.com. We'll check the status of your account creation. Okay. Guys, anything else? Okay, then thank you so much all of you for joining the session. And